Okay guys, so Xtool has just sent me a little OBDII code reader. It's called the AD10 Bluetooth 4.2 compatible. Works with iOS and Android. So what this is a OBDII code reader that plugs into your OBDII port, and then you connect with your phone. So we're going to take it out of the box. We're going to plug it into this 2016 GMC Sierra, and we're going to see how it does. This is a cheap option. If you need something to like either keep in your car, which I've got one similar to this that I just keep in the truck. That way, if anybody at work or if I'm out and about and I get my check engine light, I can easily plug it in, run the codes on it, see what may be wrong with it, to see if it's something that is important or if I can continue to keep driving it, you know, and that sort of thing. So, like I said, this is the Advancer AD10. It is not any kind of a bidirectional tool. But we're going to see what it'll do. It's got a little LED light here to show you that it's communicating. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the OBDII port here on my truck. I'm going to go ahead and turn the truck on. Fire up this iPad here. Let me get you closer. Now I've already downloaded the app. Now the nice thing about it is it's got a QR code that you will just scan with your phone, or in this case my tablet, and it will automatically direct you to the link to download the app. Like I say, this does work for Android and Apple. So here's the Advancer AD10 icon. Whenever I first hooked this up, I actually took it out of the box the other day, hooked it up, I actually did it on my phone, and the very first thing it did was it downloaded the latest firmware for the device. Now I was impressed with that because most of these kind of devices do not have upgradable firmware. I've got an ELM 327 that I've had probably for 5 years, and there's never been any kind of a firmware update for that. So this does have updatable firmware, it appears. If that was actually doing what it said and updating the firmware on the device. So I've already got my vehicle set up in here. I've also got my son's. I have not hooked it to my son's Tacoma yet. I have hooked it to my GMC here, and we're going to go through that. You can add however many vehicles that you want to in here. So let's see what we got. Oh, let's go back to the settings page. So you got your settings menu here. Your account and security, that's just your Xtool account is all that is. You don't even have to have one for this to work, but I do have one. So I went ahead and logged in, and it'll keep track of certain things for you. Vehicle management, which is this screen, which has got whatever vehicles that you've got set up in there. Language, I've got set to English. Fault warning. You can turn fault warnings on and off. If your MIL light comes on, or if there's a fault, then this tool will alert you if you have it plugged in. It'll also alert you if your coolant gets too high. Of course, you're going to have that up on your dash anyway. In your units, by default, all this was set to metric. I've changed it all over to imperial, which is what I'm used to. So let's go ahead and go back. Right off the bat, before we do anything, it shows the layout of a car. If you was driving, it'd show your distance, your average fuel consumption, Right now it's showing battery voltage. Of course, the engine's not running, so the RPMs are 0, and then the coolant's at about 117. So first, we'll just go ahead. The key is on, so we're going to hit Vehicle Diagnostic, and we're going to hit Start Scan, and we're going to see what it does. The other day, there was no faults, so I'm not expecting there to be any faults today, but we'll see. This does seem to do more than just a standard ELM 327 with the free software that you get off of the internet. Now it claims that it's, scan the engine, then it says car body, electrical system, and chassis. And it comes up, gives you a report here, the vehicle has been tested and no fault has been found. That's everything that it's tested. Got green check marks beside everything, which is what you want to see. These are not fault codes. So like if this here charging system, 67 items, and it's got a green check, that does not mean there's 67 codes. That means it checked supposedly 67 items related to the charging system. The dashboard, you got, I think, about 4 or 5, well, I guess you got about 6 default what they call dashboards. You can pull this up, you can go full screen. Let me see, what do I need to do here? There we go. And it shows you different information, airflow, intake temp, intake pressure, coolant. Of course, got a speedometer and a tach. So if you had a big iPad, you could pull that up and actually use that for a futuristic digital instrument cluster. Let's see if I can figure out how to get out of this thing. Okay, that was that's what they call the HUD. That's dashboard trip. Trip is, I'm assuming, is if you're going on a trip and you're wanting to track your movement, what route you took. It'll also tell you your miles per gallon and all that sort of thing. Performance test. It says performance testing, so I don't know if you need to be accelerating hard, like maybe doing an 1/8 or a 1/4 mile run for this to tell you. Of course, it's got a time here, so I'm assuming that's how long it would take to go from point A to point B. I'm going to go ahead and back out of that because it's doing the same thing as it did earlier when I tried it, and I don't want to sit there and wait on it. Now, the do-it-yourself mode is the most important, and that's what we're getting ready to click here in just a minute. But first, we're going to hit the leaderboard, and this is other cars, I guess, throughout the country. That if you can compare yours to other people that's doing this. Here's performance, and then here's fuel consumption. So if you're wanting to see how your vehicle compares to other vehicles throughout the world, then you can do that right here. Okay, now do-it-yourself mode. Probably the most important, in my opinion, and probably why most people would want to buy this, I would think. And so you got your live data, you got freeze frame, your mil status, smog check, which is your IM check. So if you're going to go get an inspection sticker, you want to make sure that that's good. And fault codes inquiry. First, we're going to do live data. Now, if you don't know, whenever you're doing a Bluetooth scan of live data, you may not, and if you're needing as fast of reaction or update as you can get, you don't necessarily want to have every one of these PIDs listed. So you can actually go through and you can just select, you know, certain ones. Now, I am going to go ahead and select all, just to show you, you know, how fast it is with all of them selected. I'm going to go ahead and start the vehicle. And you can see, okay, so, you know, right now it's in open loop. Of course, I just started it. The malfunction indicator lamp is off. 0 DTCs. Coolant temp is now 114. There's long-term fuel trim, fuel pressure, just all the stuff that you're going to want to, you know, be able to see. You know, if you're troubleshooting a vehicle. And, you know, a standard OBDII code reader does not necessarily give you live data. This does give you live data. So keep that in mind. This is more than just a code reader. This is it also gives you the live data, which is very important if you're troubleshooting some, you know, if you're needing to know what your fuel pressure is. Now this has got two different fuel pressures. This has got a high pressure fuel rail because it's got a mechanical high pressure pump. This is a direct injected engine, and they operate off a very high pressure. And then it's got a regular fuel pump in the gas tank. That's you know, like most fuel injected vehicles have got, which is a lower pressure fuel pump. So, you know, you may want to take a look at your high pressure, you know, which this has. Along with, you know, everything else that you're seeing here, your temp, your catalyst temp. You know, a lot of scan tools that offer live data doesn't necessarily give you the temperature of your catalyst, especially under just a generic OBDII reading. But as you can see, this is. I mean, this is giving you quite a bit of live data. So, pretty good list of live data. Of course, freeze frame, there's probably not going to be anything under freeze frame because there are no codes. Of course, like I say, mill status, it's just going to, you know, give you your basic information, and there is no DTCs. Now here's your smog check. So before you went to get an inspection, you'd want to click this just to make sure that, you know, everything's green and that you're not going to have any problem. What else we got? Fault code inquiry. Like if you wanted to know what a particular fault was, then, you know, let's just go to fuel system. There's all the codes. Like if you had a code, it gives you an idea of, you know, let's say you had a PO 178. You know, gives you a nice little description of what that code is all about. Of course, you got your electrical system, chassis, and car body code also. So, anyway, that's about all I really wanted to show. Just a real quick, down and dirty demo of what this AD10 from Xtool is capable of. And whenever I connected this, it was the easiest to connect. I didn't even have to go into my Bluetooth and connect it. It walked me through it. It told me to plug the tool into the OBDII port, start the vehicle up, and it automatically recognized it and connected up without me having to go into the iPad here and manually click pair and all that. It automatically set itself up. So I was very impressed with that. And like I say, right now we're on the Sierra, I'm getting ready to go over on the Tacoma and show you this in action on my kid's Tacoma, just to see if it, gives the same type of live data. We'll see if his truck's got any codes in it and all that. And like I say, you hit the plus sign right here. You can add any vehicle that that you want to. So let's go over here to the Tacoma, and we'll get her hooked up on that, and we'll see how it does on the Tacoma. Okay, we're here on my son's Tacoma, and I don't know if it really matters if you select the right car or not, but I'm going to go ahead and select over here on the Tacoma, and then we will come on down. We're going to do a vehicle diagnostic, start scanning, and we're just going to see what all it has to say on this. This is a 2011 Toyota Tacoma. It's a nice, easy to see and easy to use interface. So there's everything that it scanned. So now let's go ahead and go on over here, and of course the dashboard, the trip, everything's going to be the same, but I want to see the do-it-yourself mode. We're going to look at the live data. We'll go ahead and select all, hit next. We'll see what all it has to show. And that looks like everything on that list, and it may be the same identical list. I haven't really compared them exactly. But now what I want to do, let's do smog check. That is something I want to do, and then I'm going to create a DTC. So let's see, let's go back. Shouldn't be any faults there or any freeze frame data. I'm gonna get out, pop the hood, I'm gonna create a fault, and we're gonna do another vehicle diagnostic, and we'll see if it detects that fault code. Okay, so I unplugged the coil. We have a engine light. So let's see if it is able to pick it up without a problem. And then we'll check whatever the code is. We'll go and we'll look that up in their little code database and see if that sounds proper. Okay, now I see right here, if you see, it's got a red little mark there, ignition system. So it definitely picked something up, and it's got a red engine little symbol there. So it definitely knows that there's something not right about the engine module. Okay, fault details. Okay, warning, one fault has been detected. Please click the fault details to check the fault code description and repair help. So we're going to go ahead, before we do that, so ignition system, of course, you can see right there, it's got the little triangular symbol. Everything else looks good, so we're going to hit fault details. It's got a PO 355 fault. Ignition coil 5, primary secondary circuit malfunction. Fault rank 2. So yeah, there you have it. So it does have, okay, date of fault. Let me hit the, okay, here's the whole description, maintenance help, background knowledge, cause of the fault, fault description. So let's do this. Let's go over here, do it yourself, freeze frame. Let's see if it loads anything up in the freeze frame data. Yep, there's all your freeze frame. So freeze frame is helpful because it tells you exactly what the engine was doing. Was it cold? Was it hot? Was it at a certain RPM? How fast was the vehicle going? And a lot of times that will help you determine what the problem can be. So being able to see freeze frame data is a very helpful tool. So let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to hit back out of that. I'm going to go plug that coil back in, and we're going to reset the fault. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and clear this fault. Let's go back to this. I guess are we going to need to? We didn't click on that earlier, so I was just wanting to. So we're going to have to do another scan. And now I haven't done anything other than plug the coil back in. So it'll probably still be red, and then we'll figure out how to clear it. Yeah. See, it's still red. This is a very easy format to navigate. So it's a real clean and easy to navigate app. So for someone that's, you know, just wanting to be able to read their codes and clear them, this would definitely be the ticket. Okay, clear all fault codes. So that's what I'm going to do. Of course, same fault code that we saw just a minute ago. Are you sure you want to clear this fault code? It's recommended to turn off the ignition and turn it back on. Switch, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Confirm. All right, so the fault should be clear. I'm going to start the vehicle. We'll make sure the engine light goes out. And it did. And I'm not going to bore you with doing another code read because engine light's out, so I know all the faults are clear. This was just a real quick, or at least I tried to make it quick, demo of this AD10 on both a 2016 GMC Sierra and a 2011 Toyota Tacoma. I'll put a link to this if you're interested in it. Very, very cheap. I think it's about 20 bucks or something on Amazon, and very super easy to use. Connected right up to both my phone and this iPad tablet. My phone is an Android, and it connected right up with it without a problem. Anyway, that's all I got. You guys take care.